Finally, after delay upon delay, we have in our possession Analogue's Analogue 3D. Since last year, when pre-orders went up, I had been waiting this whole time, and then when the time finally came around for these things to be shipped out, of course, in classic Analogue fashion, there's a delay. Probably not at the fault of Analogue themselves. There was a lot of tariffs and like extra taxes for overseas components and stuff going on throughout the year. But like the Pocket, or at least unlike the Pocket, I didn't have to wait 2 years for it to be delivered, which honestly, if this device is anything like the amount of fun that I've had the past 3-4 years since the release of the Analogue Pocket, then I'm probably just gonna have a lot more time, a lot more fun playing with the Analogue 3D. Let's go ahead and crack it open, play some games, and just give you my first impressions on the actual device itself. Finally. Finally, just like the Analogue Pocket's box, its presentation is just absolutely like really nice. Here's the side of the box. It actually says Analogue in this nice raised gloss letter. The box itself is this kind of matte finish, very like felt, very soft. And in Analogue fashion, the presentation is just absolutely nice. We might as well be opening an Apple product. So slips off just like that. Oh, wow. Yep. It's really nice. It's really nice. Oh, the material is incredible. Power brick, power cable. Yep. This is another cable. So 2 cables, probably USB-C to USB-C, USB-A to, let's see, USB, HDMI. HDMI, maybe HDMI 2.10. I think for legal reasons they can't say 2.1, but it might be 2.1 if I heard correctly about some HDMI legality stuff. So HDMI, and this is USB-C to USB-C. Nice. Everything should just be always USB-C to USB-C. It's just a universal standard now. Apple has finally moved in that direction, and now I just need to get everything else upgraded to USB-C. Anyways, let's take a look at the actual device. Wow. Okay, paperwork, probably some stickers, cartridge cleaners. Oh, dude, this is so cool. I actually really like this. It shows off little squeegees, probably for the actual cartridges themselves. So let's go ahead and pop in some cartridges, and if they're not working, then we'll get to use this to clean it with. But for the main event, actually itself is the device. Reset, power. Oh, it's not a flick. It doesn't actually flick. It's a let's see if this can focus here. It is a flick button, a flick switch. So on, off. It doesn't actually like click. I wish it would actually have clicked like before, but here is the front of it. Beautiful black matte finish. The material seems super sturdy. There is SD card slot. Probably just placeholder. Yeah, this does not click. This is not bounce in or bounce out. There's no spring inside, just slots in there. So SD slot, HDMI, 2 USB-C, power, probably some vents. Beneath it is a giant rubber foot, which I absolutely love, like in every other Analogue. Like the Analogue dock has a giant rubber foot at the bottom of itself. Some markings to display Analogue. And there's the actual device itself. Let me go get a cartridge just to see what it looks like. Pokemon Stadium. Let's go ahead and slap that in. Ooh, it's snug. Okay. Very nice. I don't have an N64 anymore. I sold it in anticipation for the actual device itself. But I do remember what it's like to slot in an N64 cartridge into a Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64, not non-Nintendo 64. But this is nice. Very, very snug. I absolutely love that. And got me a controller so we can test out the actual ports of what that feels like. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we've been, this actually spoils us. The lock, it feels like it just like locks in there very snug. Actually love how it feels slotting it in, slotting it out. Boom, very snug. And I picked out Pokemon Stadium because of the transfer pack that it actually utilizes, so that we can test out the usage, the transfer pack, and how well it actually is going to be processing the Pokemon Yellow version. I only have Pokemon Yellow version that works on Stadium. I don't have Stadium 2 for the Gen 2 stuff, but let's go ahead and pop it, plug it in, and try out the game. All right, the moment of truth. I'm gonna switch inputs. I'm gonna flip the switch. Let's see here. Source. HDMI 1. I believe this is where I'm at. Boom. Flip is switched. Oh, maybe it's HDMI 2. Didn't want to pop up here. Maybe because it's off. Yes! We have signal! Alright, so I don't know if I should probably use the Switch 2 controller to start using it, or run through the menu with the N64 controller. I'll test both eventually. Mainly because obviously with the N64 controller, we're not going to be able to get through to the the system menu in-game, and to like probably change filters like I imagine the Analogue the Analogue Pocket has. But mainly I just wanted to pop in a game, test out Yellow version through Pokemon Stadium, and just run the game. So let's see if this will allow me to continue. Boom, breathing room away from other items and heat sources. My PlayStation 5 is not plugged in. It is pretty much out in the open here. End user agreement. Blah, 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 I agree. Get the latest 3D OS. I'll do that later. I'll probably have to pop in standard SD card in at some point. Let's see. C button to the right. Your Analogue 3D is ready. Multiplayer as it was meant to be. In-game menu, okay. OG controllers, here we go. Z plus start, which makes sense. I was showering before I started this video and I was like, how am I going to get into the system menu in-game with the OG controller? Z start, which makes sense. And then cycle display mode. I knew it. So Z start and then C left or C right. And then operating system, OG controller B. Sorry, library, jump to inserted cartridge, press B, view later. Okay, let's continue this. Pokemon Stadium. With the SD card that I'm definitely going to get eventually at some point sooner or later in some point in time to utilize this much better. I'm going to go ahead and just add screenshots or probably just box art to it like I did to the Analogue Pocket. There's this great library of box art I found online, which every time I insert a cartridge into the Analogue Pocket, it pops up just like this, but with box art, which is pretty nice. So I'll find that at some point. Let's play the cartridge. There's gonna be no sound because this monitor doesn't have external speakers, but whatever. Let's go! It starts up so fast! Alright, we've all seen how this intro looks, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start this here. Don't mind me. Pokemon Stadium. Wow. So mind you, I am using the original cartridge. This game pack wasn't saved at a Pokemon Center. I forgot that I need to save at a Pokemon Center in order to utilize this, if I'm remembering correctly, but let's see. Let's get into Stadium. Oh, shoot. Do I want to continue? No. Let's do Kids Club. Pick a game. This is me and I'm ready. Let's go hard because I'm a hard gamer. Let's do, where's the Scyther one? Is that Pokemon Stadium 2? That is Pokemon Stadium 2. Shoot! Okay, let's do the rock harden because I'm a hard gamer. Let's do it. Alright, I'm a Kakuna on the left over here. So let's get out of here. Now, it might let me load up yellow version. It might, if I'm remembering correctly. It does. It's just letting me know that I'm not at a Pokemon Center, which is neat. I actually like this. So it plays it perfectly well. This was like the main thing that I wanted to test the Analogue 3D with, is the reading and writing to a Pokemon transfer pack. This looks beautiful. This looks gorgeous. Wow. I was just playing this on a CRTV the other day, which I have in our bedroom, and wow, this looks like how my young mind would look back at my childhood days and imagine it looked like. So it looks like how I imagined it looked like from the past. Let's see where we're at here. 5 badges. Don't judge me. So we are in Fuchsia City. I keep hitting teleport off my Alakazam. But anyways, that's it. So those are just my first impressions on the Analogue 3D. Absolutely love the design, the form factor. My wife actually walked in and was like, I like how Analogue produces their form factor. She likes the display and the whatnot, how it actually is like display. It's one of those pieces I can put it out and have visitors and them not think twice about it. They'll think it's just some futuristic thing. But yeah, I'm really happy with so far Analogue's quality. Obviously, there could be something said about promises kept and whatnot. For my use cases, recording N64 games in 4K would be really nice. But yeah, just really fond overall of Analogue's quality, Analogue's production. While it was plugged in and running though, I did notice that it was making sounds like there's a fan inside. I'm not gonna open it and break it down. I'll let other YouTubers do that. But overall, I did hear like it was like running a fan. Yeah, there's components in there that are definitely moving. There's probably a fan, like I said, because of the vents that we can see here in the back. But very impressed overall. And if you'll excuse me, I've got some N64 games to play. I'll see you later. Actually, I've gotten my microphone up next to the console, and I noticed that when I plugged it in for power, that's why I probably looked back. I came up from under the desk to see did it make a sound? Yeah, I plug it in and the fans start to blow, and hopefully my microphone can pick it up. But here we go. It's got fans. It's got fans. I'm a fan.